Speaker. It's a measure of a society and a government about how it treats the people it is responsible for, whether it's properly funding preschool and childcare so no one is worse off and the children in difficult situations get the best start to their school education, whether it's properly funding primary and secondary schools so that every school is funded equitably, whatever the sector they are studying in, whether it's supporting penalty rates for those employees who work weekends and public holidays, and whether it's ensuring that our older citizens are supported and are able to make choices about their support and care when age-related difficulties mean they need assistance. Our older citizens have the right to be able to choose to stay at home, and that is on the basis on which My Aged Care supports have been designed. It was Labor who introduced the historic Living Better, Ageing Better reforms in 2012. But in the latest figures released last Friday, there are 108,000 of our older citizens waiting for home care packages. 54,000 of those have no package at all. Worse still, the average wait time for level 3 and 4 packages is more than 12 months. To stay at home, they need the most. As the House well knows, level 4 packages are for people who are determined in the most need. To stay at home, they need the most support, perhaps with personal care, home maintenance, shopping, transport to doctors and other things. I was recently contacted by one of my constituents. She and her sister have been caring for their 92-year-old mother, who has expressed her wish that she stay in her own home, something they want to honour, but they are finding it increasingly hard to do so. My constituents work full-time, have their own families, and without the support the package could offer, they were finding it almost impossible to honour their mum's wish to stay at home. Thankfully, with my office's support, their mother has been given interim support while she waits for a higher package. And for this family, it means they continue to assist her to stay in her home and meet their obligations to their own families and work. But they are looking forward to her needs being fully met when the package she is approved for is properly funded. They are certainly not the only example that has been brought to my attention. It shouldn't ever be a choice because funding is not available as to whether our older citizens should go into more supportive care like a nursing home. That should solely be the choice of the person, their family and the support from the medical team looking after them. Staying at home is not only preferable for the person because they can stay in neighbourhoods with familiar surroundings where they've lived for many years, close to their supports and doctors, but it's also cheaper for the budget's bottom line than spending time in acute care hospitals or residential nursing care. The government has trumpeted 14,000 new in-home aged care packages over the next 4 years, 3,500 a year. While any increase is welcomed, 14,000 is far from adequate. The latest release of figures for waiting list as of April this year has a waiting list of 108,000. We need to remember that these aren't just figures. Each is a person with a family who is not being funded to a level at which they have been assessed. Many of those people waiting have high-level leaves and they have dementia. Given our ageing population, this waiting list will no doubt continue to grow and the crisis in aged care will become more acute year after year. And while our older Australians are still waiting for care, the government seems unable to find any additional funding to address a waiting list, yet they are happy to provide $17 billion tax cuts for the big bank. Consideration needs to be made now to fix these issues for us, our older Australians.